Hello Cancer and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all you Cancerians out there. You Cancers that are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where those placements are, there will be a free natal chart link in the description box down below for you to go and check out, and so you can also find out for yourself your own natal placements. Because this is just a general read, Cancer, so it's not going to kind of resonate with all of you Cancerians out there. And you might want to check out your other signs, like your rising sign, your moon sign and your Venus sign, to see whether or not those readings make more sense to you, because your sun sign doesn't always give you the messages that you're looking for. So we'll be putting more messages out there, and I have already uploaded some videos previously that you may want to check out as well if they resonate better with you. Also, cross watchers, who I'm not particularly good at remembering, I apologise for that. Cross watchers, if you are interested in Cancerian, or if you're in a relationship with a Cancerian, or you want to be, or you have been in a relationship with a Cancerian, you might also want to check out your other signs as well. And also remember that the energies within a reading can be reversed. You can actually be the energies can literally be crossed over as well, so you might need to kind of try and work out which one suits you best. So I'm starting all these readings with a Major Arcana card from the Gilded Tarot deck, Cancer, and your particular reading, or card today should I say, for this reading is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is speaking to me today of, well, it's kind of like service to others, or service to a higher good, to a higher idea, a higher realm, a higher perspective, a higher understanding, seeking something higher, looking for answers from something higher. The Hierophant was originally known as the Pontifex, and the Pontifex literally means the bridge. So the Hierophant, or the Pontifex, would be the bridge between the spiritual realms, the God universe, however you prefer to see it or call it. It was the bridge between the physical earth plane and the higher realms. So that's what this card is depicting for me here today, is this bridging, a bridging of something. Maybe you're having to rebuild bridges, Cancer, but there is a kind of faith needed here as well, because the Hierophant also talks about faith, commitment. For me, it's very Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius being ruled by Jupiter. It's the energy of optimism, belief in something bigger than yourself, belief that things are going to improve. Like I said, it's a very optimistic energy, so there could also be this kind of need for you to look at things in a more positive light, see the positive in a situation that maybe not feeling so positive about. Some of you Cancers out there as well. But it could also be, or can also be, about commitment. Commitment to a person, commitment to a job, commitment to a way of life, lifestyle. So that's your energy overall, and the reading today, Cancer, is the Hierophant. And at the very heart of your reading today, Cancer, we have this card here, which is the Three of Wands. And for me today, this card is saying that that there needs to be a... I always see the Three of Wands as a risk card, because although you're being offered something, again, you don't know what you're being offered, and you don't know where it's going to lead you if you do take that offer. But this is the heart of your reading. It could lead to something very creative because it's a wand that has potential. But there could also be, if you look in the background, it's a very twisty turny, so it kind of says to me there could be many twists and turns in the road, and at the moment if you're looking down that road you can't see what's around the next corner. You can't see what's around the next bend. You don't know what's coming up. So there is a risk involved here, but there's always a risk involved in life. Life is full of risks. And sometimes we just have to grab them with both hands and see where it's going to take us. So that's at the heart of your reading, Cancer. But what you've got over the top of this is the Death card. The card of Pluto energy. Endings, finalities, things finishing. Things never being the same again. So maybe that's what it's saying here, that is that if you take this risk, it's going to change your life completely. The way that things are now are going to transform and change. And maybe that's also why you've got this Hierophant card here as well, because you're kind of looking for answers, seeking something from a higher dimension, wanting to know, is it the right thing to do, Cancer? Is it the right thing? Do you take what's being offered? Do you change your life completely? Do you put an end to how things have been? And so the Hierophant is kind of there to as a kind of reminder of faith in yourself as well. Faith in something bigger, faith in the bigger picture. Because death and transformation isn't always a bad thing. We do tend to have this very kind of morbid or negative view of death and see it as something that's not such a great thing. But we go through many deaths in our lives. We go through death from childhood to teenagehood, from teenagehood to being in a relationship, from a relationship to, you know, from no longer being a single person. If we get, you know, this could also donate being somebody thinking about getting married here as well. Maybe that's also the feeling of a risk here that's being taken, because it is going to change things forever on a very deep level, and that will change your whole world, your whole environment. And like I was saying, that when you get married or have a child or anything like that, there is a death within the old, even though there's something new, which is the rebirth and the transformation. There is also a death there as well, because whatever has been is no longer the same. And in our society, we don't recognise that. Our society, we just kind of carry on as if nothing's happened, as if there's no kind of change. We don't mourn our changes in life, our growth, our rebirths, our transformations. We kind of barely even register them on the kind of, you know, scale of what's happened in our lives. So those cards are at the heart of your reading, and this is your challenge at this moment in time. Your challenge is to allow things to change, to transform, to go from being one thing to being something else. And what's in your head at this moment in time, Cancer, and what you seem to be aware of. And I think that this is about the single life. This is about, you know, being kind of no longer being free to just do as you please, go where you want, just kind of get on with life in this fashion of like not having to worry about anybody else. The Knight of Wands can definitely be seen as a player card. It's the energy of Leos, Sagittarius and Aries, and they're all quite dynamic energies. They're all energies that like their freedom. They like to be able to express themselves as and when they feel like it. They don't necessarily like to answer to other people either, so there could be elements of that there as well. Cancer, sorry, if you've got any Leos, Sagittarius or Aries in your astrological chart natally, which is why there will be that link down below in the description so you can go and check that out and see if you do have any kind of very prominent fire signs. But this is what's in your head at the moment, and I do feel that it is about this kind of possibly kind of a courage as well, facing your inner, how can I put it, facing your inner insecurities, because he's got this mask on here. And it's kind of like almost having to take that mask off and look at yourself in the mirror here, Cancer, rather than anybody else. It's about looking at yourself, I feel. And kind of saying to yourself, you know, weighing up the pros and the cons of the freedom that you're giving up, which is this card here, I feel, as well, the Death card here, what you're giving up, the life you're leaving behind. What is it that's dying? What is it that's going to be no more? And what you're going to gain. What is it that you're gaining? And this is kind of that energy here, in the sense of what you're being offered is something quite precious, because here he's literally being given the crown to the country. So, and again, like the colour of his robe here, the purple, relates to the kind of crown chakra, the kind of spiritual realm, which is also this here as well. So I feel as though you're asking yourself, can I do this? Can I do it? Am I going to be courageous enough, or am I going to be, even am I going to be the person that I should be or I could be? How much is it going to take out of me as well? What is it that I'm having to leave behind here? So normally I would go to the subconscious realm, but I'm going to go with this card again, which I did yesterday in the reading that I did yesterday for Gemini. I did the same thing because it felt like it was kind of following through, and I feel the same kind of energy today with the Nine of Pentacles here. This is you, Cancer. This is the energy that's been around for a while, and this is you kind of accumulating your self-worth and building up your, I hesitate to say empire, but there's a kind of sense of like building up your own like home, family, but it has been done very, I feel, very kind of singularly. That you've achieved what you've achieved on your own. And you feel quite proud about it as well. There's a sense of pride. There's a sense of like, look what I've done with my life so far to date. Look what I have. I've got all of this. Which isn't just about the finances here, but it's also about your state of mind as well, in a way. Your kind of your health and your wealth. It's a very lush card. It's very abundant. It's full of grapes, and kind of they represent to me abundance and kind of the good things in life. The good things in life. And you have this kind of stash here where you can enjoy yourself as and when you feel like it. You have the freedom to be able to just go out and do what you want, when you want. And you don't have to share it with anybody. I also get a strong sense of that as well. Very much kind of like, you know, this is mine. This is my achievement. This is what I have. But underneath, and what you're aware of, is this Empress energy. And the Empress energy is kind of a sense of very feminine, motherly, nurturing. It is kind of a very Cancerian type of card in a way, because it is represented by the mother. But there is also an element of earth within this as well, because it represents the earth. It represents abundance, everything that we get from the earth, all the things, how we're fed by the earth, how we're taken care of by the earth. She's always as well permanently full of potential, pregnant with potential, the Empress. Because of course the earth is always pregnant with potential. The earth is full of life and growth and abundance, and everything we need we get from the earth. And she also has this crown on her head here, and she also has these kind of if you see here, she's carrying this this bunch of like grains of harvest, of wheat, of the things that we need in order to survive. And also the beauty, like the flowers growing down here, the poppies in the field, and her dress kind of represents that as well, the summer. So this energy is kind of very much represented by the female or the woman or the women in your life, Cancer, because this is in your subconscious. And this doesn't have to be, this isn't a gender issue. This is much more about kind of the mother, in the sense of how we've been looked after, how our mother responded to us. Because our mothers can be very nurturing, very caring, very loving, giving us space to grow, or they can be very kind of, but if it was in reverse, I would be saying that this is the mother who's very kind of smothering and very kind of demanding of her children. But there is an issue here to do with the mother energy. And it could be to do with the women in your life, Cancer. Particularly any male Cancers out there that might be watching. Any men. But even, you know, I mean, the abundance side of it, and everybody wants that kind of abundance and wants to be taken care of and kind of have everything, you know, that kind of good life, really, that life of plenty. Whether you're male or female. We all kind of seek that. We all want that for ourselves. And that, you know, is also to do with love as well. But the Empress, like I was saying, can also be seen as representing the perfect female energy. And the crown I find quite interesting as well, because here he's being offered this crown. And for you, this is how you see, this is like your perfect mate, shall we say. I don't want to say perfect woman because that makes it just very genderist, but it's your perfect mate. It's the one that you would give up your crown for, shall we say. You would offer your kingdom to be your partner. But it's on a subconscious level. So there's something there that's saying that it's not something in your environment as such. It's not something that is actual, how can I put it? It's in your subconscious. So maybe there is somebody there who you're questioning this about, Cancer. Maybe you're saying to yourself, is this person that person that I'm looking for? Is this the right person for me to give my freedom up for? Because I feel that that's what this is about. There's a sense of giving up freedom, taking what's being offered, but giving up your freedom, a commitment here. And you do feel as though it's a commitment for life as well, Cancer. And what we have as your energy that's moving moving in, the energy that's moving in is the Four of Pentacles, and it's the only card so far that is in reverse. So I feel, Cancer, that there's something here that you're holding on to. You don't want to, sense that you don't want to give up your freedom. You don't want to give up the lifestyle that you have. You don't want to give up what you've worked hard to achieve, which is this energy here as well. You're holding on and you're really reluctant. Reluctant to kind of just give in. If you see here, he's got these Four Pentacles and he's holding on to them really tightly because he doesn't trust that things are going to work out. He doesn't trust that he will be looked after. He doesn't trust that the universe and the kind of abundance will keep coming his way. Maybe you Cancer, that you don't trust yourself enough in this. But there is an element of just not trusting, of just holding on, of hoarding in a way, holding on to what you have for fear of letting go and not receiving any more. There's a very kind of it's mine energy about this here. I don't want to share it with you. And also possibly an insecurity here as well. That you don't feel safe enough, you don't feel secure enough to be able to let this go, because what happens if it all goes wrong? Where would that leave you? There's also an element of that in this card as well, Cancer. So I'm going to pull some more cards here and see if we can get some more clarity on this situation. And just keep looking at the time and checking and making sure that it's not gone too quickly. So, a card please for the Three of Wands and the Death energy here. The Three of Wands and Death. Why are these energies here? You have the Ace of Earth. The stag. The stag that's looking for his mate. There is an element of that here because he's standing on this rock and he's alone and he's kind of saying, look at me. Look, I am here. It's an ace, so it's a new energy that's coming in. And I feel that it's coming in, you know, after this ending, after you kind of make a decision, either way, whichever decision you're going to make. This Ace of Earth is going to come in. Earth, again, it's about your environment. It's about it's a new opportunity to do something positive, to grow something new, for something new to come out of something old, I feel. For the new to come out of the old. Once the old has gone, once you've cleared that energy. Because it is time, I feel, for change here. Because this is about a risk. And if you don't take a risk, then nothing's going to change here, Cancer. And there may be a feeling of imbalance here as well, because one of these antlers has grown a lot more than the other as well. And it's even budding as well. This one's got kind of leaves growing on it. And it's kind of representing a kind of tree, or yeah, and kind of branches of an antler of this stag, who kind of, for me, looks as though he's been out on his own for a long time. Like he's been out in the woods searching for something. I feel like he's searching for his herd, he's searching for his mate. In order to grow something together. I think that's what that energy is saying to me there. So, had a card just flip over there. Let's see which card that is, and we'll place it on top of interesting. On the Knight of Wands we have the Empress energy again. So there she is, twice, over the top of the Knight of Wands here. Your freedom, your kind of fear of taking off your mask, showing yourself fully to somebody. But I also feel that this is somebody you can't let go. With this Four of Pentacles here as well. So there may also be, Cancer, that you are going to do the offering here rather than actually be the one that's being offered as well. But either way, you know it's going to be a huge change in your life. And it possibly is quite scary. There possibly is that scary element to this. But I feel that you're also fed up with being on your own. You're fed up with it, but you're not quite sure how to change it. You're not quite sure how to go about it. But the Empress is definitely there very strongly. And this does imply to me that there is somebody in the background who represents this Empress energy. Somebody who you feel gives you everything you need. They are your Empress. Male or female, makes no difference. They are your Empress. They are your fulfillment. They are your other half. Maybe that you also feel that they are your twin flame, your soulmate, the person that feeds your soul, feeds you on another level entirely. So that's what I'm kind of picking up with these two Empress energies. So let's see what else we have here. Let's go for the Nine of Pentacles and see what comes out for you for the Nine of Pentacles, Cancer. Nine of Pentacles. What's the message with the Nine of Pentacles for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Nine of Pentacles, Universe. What's the energy here for the Nine of Pentacles? What is the message for Cancer? Interesting. Over the 9 you've got the 10. 10 of Earth. This is the energy that's moving away. So this is about your... Sorry, you can hear that noise. That's my cat in the background meowing at the door. She wants to come in. But she will probably just wreak havoc if I let her in. The Nine of Pentacles here about your self-worth, your value of yourself, what you've achieved, your abundance, your environment. But again, I get this sense of just being alone as well. This kind of, there's an energy of this within this as well. It's kind of like, you know, looking out here as if to say, like, you know, I don't know if I want to still be on my own. But like I said, there is this risk element and there is also this fear of doing so. But you have the 10, like I said, the 10 of Earth, which is the follow-on. So maybe you have had this with this person, Cancer. There may have been a completion here with this person, that you reached what you thought was going to be your happy ending here, in the sense of, like, you know, your achievement of home, family, legacy, settling, here to stay. But if you look at her face, there's something in this card. Often I feel like her face kind of belies the fact that she's got all this abundance. She's got this chest full of treasure down here. She's got this kind of wolf, beautiful kind of wolf protection, I feel, in some way. Some kind of, like, you know, security. I think it represents security. But she also doesn't look particularly happy with everything she wants. She's got, sorry, it's like she's looking out for something else. And I get this kind of same feeling here with this card as well, looking out for something else. But all the abundance that's there. Oh, that's interesting. The 5 of Fire has turned out as well. Which for me today is this energy. It's the same energy. It's the same, like they're both sitting in the same kind of position. They're both kind of fed up. I always see this as card as, like, you know, she's all dressed up with nowhere to go. Her party. She's at her own party and nobody else has turned up. So there could be elements of that as well here. 5 of Fire. 5 of Wands. Often depicts a kind of energy of self-doubt. not feeling good enough, not feeling like you've got the abilities that are needed or the capability to do what you need to do, self-doubt, like I was saying, particularly if you're at your own party and nobody turns up. But there is also these butterflies or moths here which kind of represent transformation as well, so that is also an element of this death change challenge of yours here, Cancer. I just feel this kind of, there's a sense of, I don't know if it's despair so much, but this sense of kind of unhappiness underneath it all, although everything looks good on the outside. On the inside, things are not as they appear. It could also be what this Knight of Wands is saying here as well, that it's not all as it appears on the outside. The inside. And that's why you're kind of wearing that mask, because you don't want to show people your true feelings here, the true energy of what's happening in your world and in your life. I don't know where that 5 of fire came from, because when I turned around to pick the cards up, it was just flipped over on the top. So I thought, okay, that obviously wants to be part of the reading. So, Cancer's Empress. Why is the Empress here for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Why is the Empress here for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. Empress energy. Oh, okay, that's quite a few. I thought it was just the one that came out, but no, we've got 3 cards here, and this is your subconscious. Subconscious energy. You want to start something new, but you are fearful because it's in reverse. You're reluctant, but you want to start something new. You want to have a new beginning. You want things to work in your favour. There's a lot of, with the Ace, there's often a lot of passion here. There's a lot of kind of sexual attraction as well. A lot of fire. A lot of fire in this card. It's all kind of root chakra energy for me. It's all very reds, oranges, yellows. So it's kind of root energy from the heart chakra down. The root chakra, your solar plexus, and the brain's gone completely blank now. Solar plexus, the sacral. So it's the red and the yellow and the orange energies, very base, very kind of driven, passion, sexual energy here. And if you look very carefully, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is this kind of little like sprite fairy kind of creature here, and she does have in her hand, it's really hard to see, but she is clutching to her chest here this tiny red heart. And it's like, you know, this is my heart. This is, are you going to look after my heart? Are you going to take care of my heart? If I give you my heart, and this is what you want to do. There is this energy here of you wanting to have a new beginning. But you're in hermit energy as well. That energy of kind of half in and half out of the world. If you see here, this face is kind of peering through this door, and it's almost like you are it's kind of like testing the waters in a way, like that Cancer thing of moving sideways. There's a similar energy here. The Hermit, like with the Hierophant here, the Hierophant is all about you kind of looking for answers, seeking answers from a higher perspective, if you like, a higher realm, a spiritual realm, a kind of like spiritual connection with this person maybe as well, Cancer. And maybe you're becoming aware of that, but the Hermit is much more about looking for your answers within yourself, finding you, rather than, I mean, you could be finding you by using this energy of the Hermit and kind of connecting with the higher energy as well, to kind of try and find your the answers to your problems or your fears or worries. But there is these keys down here as well, which I always think, you know, it's the key to the door, it's the key to opening up the world, it's the key to finding something new. And I think that this is, you know, these two kind of, this is much more kind of outer energy, whereas this is all inner. But there is, within both of these, there's a reluctance to actually, like, you don't want to come out this hermit mode. You've been in this hermit mode for quite some time, Cancer, and it's comfortable. Which is also, I think, what this death card is about here as well. This transformation that's taking place, this change, this kind of knowing that you've got to do something. But it's also come out with the King of Wands here. Again, more kind of fire and passionate energy, relating to the fire energies of Leo and Sagittarius and Aries. Again, there's a lot of that kind of fiery, passionate energy around here in this reading. But it's all kind of, I feel as though it's all kind of being held back. It's all being kept in. And this is what this Hermit is about. It's all being kept within. And this is also what this Knight of Wands is about here. You are keeping it all hidden. You are keeping it all within yourself. Because the King of Fire here also has this fiery red heart, which he's holding in his hand. And he also has this kind of butterfly effect on his face, which is also about transformation. And this sun kind of fire behind his head. So there's a process, I feel, Cancer, that you're going through. There is a process here of transformation that is taking place. But this heart, it's like you're holding it in your hand and you're kind of saying, you know, can I trust that my heart is going to be looked after and taken care of by this person? You want this new beginning, but you're really fearful of giving your heart to them. Maybe they've hurt you in the past. Maybe there has been something that's kind of created this, or maybe it's from another relationship that you are no longer able to trust, that you're not going to end up in the same place, which is what I feel about this as well. This energy of, you know, what if I do? And what if it all goes wrong? Where will I end up? And again, it's over the top of the Empress. Over the top of the Empress. So you kind of have this fiery Leo, passionate energy. Again, with this ace here, for this energy here, for this Empress. This is who you want in your life. This person who you believe can give you everything that you need and everything that you want. And maybe even feel that they complete you on some level as well. As I was saying earlier, Cancer. So the Four of Pentacles is your energy that's moving in. So let's see why that's there for you, Cancer. Why does Cancer have the Four of Pentacles here? Why does Cancer have the Four of Pentacles here? Why does Cancer have the Four of Pentacles here? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, Cancer. Why is the Four of Pentacles here for Cancer? Why is the Four of Pentacles here, Universe? For Cancer. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. There's actually 2 cards that have just come out, because I'm sure another one flipped over as well. Yeah. Okay. So with the 4 of Pentacles, we get the 4 of Air. Both 4s. 4s being challenge. 4s being a square. Squares in astrology are challenges. And there's a lot of squares happening. With Uranus at the moment. The energy with Uranus and Saturn is now squaring, because Saturn has moved into Aquarius, and so it's going to start squaring off to Uranus, which is all about change, which is what I feel you're quite fearful of, Cancer, at this moment in time. But the 4 of Air, or 4 of Swords as it is better known, is about time out. It's about not rushing into anything. It's about you giving yourself space to think things through and to work it out what it is that you're really needing or wanting. Maybe there's an energy of miscommunication or no communication or blocking, or people have just kind of just turned their back on each other here. Cancer. And she definitely does not look happy in this card. Of course, the 3 is all about heartache, and so she's kind of holding these 3 feathers here, which represent the swords. Normally there's 3 swords and then 1 other sword, but in this particular card, like I said, it's represented by feathers. So there's 3 here, and those 3 feathers would represent the 3 of Swords, which is the heartache card. So it is about recovering. It is about kind of a healing process. It is about kind of realizing that you are still wounded. There's still a wound there that hasn't been healed. And she has the 4th feather in her hand here. She's kind of holding on to that 4th feather. And I get the kind of, you know, the same energy here as well. It's kind of holding on to it. You don't want to let it go. You don't want to let go what it was that you had. But it has also come out with the Page of Pentacles as well. So it's saying to me that the Page is a young energy. It's an energy, the Page for me is all about knowing your value. Page of Earth energy is about value. It's about self-worth, self-value. But because it's a page, it's kind of a time of learning to understand your value. There's always an energy with this card as well of like an innocence and a real kind of playful energy. If you look, he's kind of dressed in this, I don't know if this way you can see it, but he's dressed in this kind of Native American Indian outfit, which kind of says to me, you know, it's a bit like dressing up, role playing. But of course the Native American Indians were very connected to the earth as well. So there is this kind of this value. And it's also got the 4 of Pentacles here as well. Again, value, holding on to something. Holding on to something, not wanting to let something go. And possibly even kind of It's a young energy. Young energy. There's something about this card that I feel is possibly an immaturity within this energy as well. An immaturity, a kind of somebody not valuing something in the same way. I'm going to pull another card here, just quickly pull another card to see what that's about before I move on to the moon cards that I will be pulling very shortly. But let's just see what this energy is saying here. Page of Earth. Why did the Page of Earth come out for Cancer? What is this Page of Earth energy about here? Okay, sorry about that. Flying card. It's the Fool, which can be seen as two ways. It can also be seen as that young, immature energy, but it also can be seen as kind of, are you listening? Are you hearing that there's this new beginning? Are you trusting yourself? Maybe that's also what this is about as well. Value, trust. Trust your inner knowing. The Fool literally is kind of, he's got this trumpet here and he's kind of playing this, this, to me it's kind of this this vibration of things that are changing. It's like the vibration itself is changing, and it's kind of, you're picking up on something. You don't know what it is necessarily because it hasn't actually materialized yet. But the Fool is about trusting your instincts and a new beginning, a new journey, a new kind of awareness. I feel with this card today, there's a kind of a new awareness that's growing in the background, that things are not as they have been, and things don't have to be the same way as well. There's a new beginning here, Cancer. There's a new growth, there's new outlook, but you have to kind of listen to that call, or that vibrationary kind of change in the air, so to speak. You know, something kind of subtle, something subtle, I feel. Because this is a kind of, again, if you look at the card, it's a energy of something that's young, but it's also kind of, to me, it's something that's kind of full of wisdom. It's a fairy type creature that kind of has this allure about it, and it's kind of saying, you know, come follow this music, follow this kind of new. You look here, he's got this kind of light coming out here, and for me it's kind of creating this gateway, this path at the back here that is there and waiting, this new start for your future, Cancer. It's a beautiful card, the Fool, really beautiful card. And of course it's also about putting everything down, putting the baggage down, letting it go, transforming, allowing it to transform, allowing yourself to let go of that past, because you can't take that into your future. The Fool travels lightly, and travels very lightly, no baggage or very little baggage, only really what is needed in the present, and whatever is not needed any longer is left in the past. And that's what for me this gateway is. The gateway for me always represents a kind of opening into the future in the present and leaving that past behind. When you walk through it, it's like you walk from one area of a space, if you like. You know, it's like you walk under an archway. You're going from one side of it into another side of it. But when it's the Fool card, it kind of represents it on a really kind of huge scale. It's a major arcana card. It's a new beginning. It's 0. It's a 0 energy, so it's literally saying this is the beginning. This is the new beginning. So, Cancer, let's quickly just see what the Moonology wisdom, the wisdom of the moon cards want to say. Which card? Nope. Nope. Not taking all that. That's just ridiculous. Not happening. Try again. A card, please, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. The wisdom. There we go. One card flew over there again. It is the full moon in Virgo, and it is saying you are good enough, Cancer. You are good enough. You don't have to be anything else. You are good enough as you are. As you are. Fully unmasked. You are good enough. You have what you need to succeed and make this work. You are good enough. So, Cancer, we have a Namaste blessing card to finish, which is these two trees kind of reaching out to each other, which I find quite interesting. It could also represent yourself and this other person. This very green energy here as well. It's very kind of fertile energy. It could also represent the heart energy as well, the heart chakra energy of the green. And it's a blessing of acceptance, and it says every part of you is equally worthy of love. Accept yourself as you are, and this will be a blessing unto yourself and others. If you wish to see the truth of the matter, hold no preference either for or against a particular outcome. Just be the love that you truly are. And I think that's what this card is kind of saying as well. You are good enough as you are. Again, it's a very green energy, heart chakra energy. It is all about the heart. All about the heart. Holding your heart in your hand. You want to give it to somebody. That's the blessing on the card. And the last card, I'm not going to lie because I've already seen this, and I'm going to say that before I even pulled this card, I knew it was going to come out because it went through my head, and then when it came out, and I was just like, yep, I knew it. It is Rose Quartz, Cancer. All about the heart. Forgiveness. There's an element of forgiveness needed within this relationship or part of your life that you're trying to move forward from, that you need to be able to forgive in order to get past it, Cancer. And it relates to the heart chakra, and it's pink, which is the colour, of course, of unconditional love. Instead of being green, there's two colours for the heart chakra, the green and the pink. And the pink is all about unconditional love, and the green relates to nature. So it says, forgive yourself, dear friend. Those of you in the human kingdom find so much for which to blame yourselves. At the heart of the blaming is an unrealistic goal for perfection, and the fear of falling short of that goal, which could also be this Knight of Wands here, as well as this King of fire in reverse down here. Deep in your soul is the memory of the perfect state of love and unity you felt long ago on your journey through time and space. You have not forgiven yourself for forgetting how to return to that place of infinite love. Your journey here in the physical is not a fall from grace as your religions would have you believe. It's also about religion, and it can be very dogmatic. There can also be that element of this within the Hierophant as well, that you have to kind of believe in a certain way or else. But it's not in reverse. Not that any of those major Arcana cards are in reverse, because I don't pull them in reverse. But yeah, so there could be elements of dogmatism in there as well. Rather, it is another medium or environment for you to work on different soul aspects. Physical incarnation on Earth is an opportunity that only a limited number of souls may experience. The waiting line is long to travel the road you currently walk. And yet there are many times when you'd prefer to give up this existence, to be relieved of the responsibility and the suffering of your experience here. Believe us, dear one, this earthly sojourn is a gift. Cherish each moment of every day with thankfulness for this opportunity, for on earth you experience the connectedness of spirituality and emotion translated into the physical, the caring touch, the friendly smile, the supportive hug, the passionate embrace, and are treasures available to you. This is love made tangible for your pleasure, for the warming and gentling of your heart, for your soul growth. Maybe that's also what these treasures down here are talking about as well. But that's what's missing. You've got all this kind of financial stability, and you kind of don't really need to look for anything else, except your heart is missing what it wants. Cancer. That could be a possibility. You often say, I'm only human. Forgive yourself for being human. To be human is not a curse. It is a blessing. To be only human is a universal miracle. Because of negative conditioning, many humans have forgotten their inherent perfection. It seems that no matter how hard you try, whatever you achieve never appears to be good enough. Consequently, you spend your entire life trying to make up for your perceived failings. Here is the truth. You are not a failure. You have chosen this physical life to learn. You are here figuring out what works and what does not. If you knew all you needed to, you would not be here. This incarnation is not the time to worry about perfection. This is the time for moving forward and releasing old patterns that no longer work. Now is the time for taking stock of where you stand in your life and changing course if you feel empty, unhappy, or disconnected. This is the time for recognizing yourself as a beautiful, loving, and lovable being with much to offer. If you have drawn this card today, consider those that you need to forgive. Make a list of the people who you feel have wronged you in some way. It might include your parents or family members who did not treat you kindly. Perhaps you resent them for not preparing you properly for the difficult demands that the world would place on you. You may also think of friends who were disloyal or turned against you when you needed them most. At the top of the list may be a lover or a spouse who had committed to a relationship of caring and trust and who has disappointed or abandoned you. Or are you angry at yourself for some perceived deficiency? Mentally hold these people in your mind, including yourself, and open your heart to each one. Speak to them. Tell them that you forgive them and release them from your resentment. Let them know that you see that they are trying like you are to find out how to live in a very challenging world and confusing place. Tell them that you know that they are wounded too. Surround them in white light and bless them on their journey here. After you have sent them all the love that is in your heart, take the list and burn it with the flame from a white candle. Maybe that's also what this is about as well. maybe even this here, this flame, this passion, this fire. This act symbolizes you're letting them go. You no longer hold them or yourself in emotional bondage. Automatically, the weight lifts from your shoulders. Your heart is open, free, and filled with love. So Cancer, maybe that's a plan for what you need to do in order to be able to move on in your life and not keep feeling like you're stuck at this kind of crossroads place, no kind of decision, having to make a decision, but you don't know which decision to make. So I'm going to leave it there and say, Cancer, that maybe you need to find yourself a piece of this quartz, rose quartz. It's very easy to get hold of. There's a lot of it about, and it's not overly expensive, and maybe you should hold on to it, keep it in your pocket, sleep with it, shower with it, bath with it, talk to it, hold it, maybe give it to somebody who you love as well, maybe buy somebody else a piece, give it as a peace offering, even as a forgiveness. But I think that there is a big message behind this card for yourselves, Cancer, here, to find forgiveness, not only for the other person, but also for yourself and the part that you feel that you may have played within any of this too. So on that note, I am going to leave your reading, Cancer. I'm going to say I hope that you have enjoyed this message. If you have, could you thumbs it up for me, please, to get it out into the bigger YouTube world, as I'm really trying to get my messages out there. Also, could you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already? If you have subscribed, then thank you very much. I do really appreciate it. And also tap the bell to receive videos that I will be putting out in the future. I will be putting out a new moon video, and I'm still going to put out my Black Moon, Lilith, Chiron, Pluto, Mars, Eris video, because it all kind of is culminating. Although it's a long-lasting energy, it's kind of coming to this real kind of boiling point, I feel, at this moment in time. And I don't feel that there's a lot out there about it, so I'd like to get some information out there to people. Also, if you feel that it's been helpful to yourselves, or if you know anybody else that you feel might benefit from this video, please share it with them. My email is in the description box for anybody who feels like they would like to have a personal reading with me, a private reading. I can do it by Skype, I can do it on phone, or I can do it on a messenger app. Also, before I forget, if anybody feels like they would like to donate to my channel, the donation link is in my banner on my channel as well. And if you want to check out any of my other videos that I've put out there already, please feel free to do so. And thank you very much, Cancer, for listening. I hope this has been of some help, and hope to see you back soon. Take care.